Hey everybody, it's Dr. Turnquest Rolle again, here to teach you about time to the half hour again. This time, we're going to apply what we've learned from myself and Miss Watkins to solving word problems about time to the half hour. Are you ready to take on this challenge? I sure hope so, because here we go. Today's learning goals. By the end of this video, you should be able to read problems and solve them effectively, understand half hour means the same as 30 minutes past. Before we move forward with our lesson, there are some terms that I'd like for you to consider and lock into your memory bank. Here they are. Half hour means the same as half past, half hour after, half hour later, 30 minutes after, 30 minutes later, and even 30. This is what all of these things look like on the analog clock when the long hand points to 6. Lock that in your memory bank because that's going to be very important moving further. So let's make a consideration of how we're going to solve word problems considering time to the half hour. Here are some steps for you to consider when working through word problems with time. Read the problem. Pay attention to the time. Remember your vocabulary. Write the time, hour, then minutes. Work through each of the steps together. The first step asked us to read the problem. Stan and Dave had a game at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Their mommy got a message saying the game will take place a half hour later. What time is their game now? It is now important for us to pay attention to the time. The portion of the problem that we want to pay attention to reads, Stan and Dave had a game at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Do you notice that the time is in red? And it's 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock is the time the game was supposed to start. Let's remember our vocabulary. The game will take place a half hour later. The thing that we want to pay attention to here are the words half hour later. Do you remember how much time has passed when it is a half hour later? 30 minutes, of course. So, if the game was supposed to start at 1 and it starts a half hour later, that means then that the game is going to start at 1:30 now. It is important that we write the time, hour first, then minutes. Here's how we write the time on the digital clock. 1:30 looks like this. 1:30. After working through that problem, I think it's important for us to take another look at the steps for solving a word problem. Read the problem. Pay attention to the time. Remember your vocabulary. Write the time, hour, then minutes. Here's a problem that you can consider on your own. Jane and her mommy put a cake in the oven at 10 o'clock. The cake will be done in 30 minutes. What time will the cake be ready? Here's where you're going to go ahead and grab someone that's at home with you and is willing to help you with today's lesson. You are going to remember to read the problem, pay attention to the time, remember your vocabulary, and write the time, hour first, then minutes. I'm going to give you some time to do this with a partner or even on your own, and then we will review this problem together. I'm back, everybody. Did you remember to work through each of the steps of problem solving through this problem? I sure hope so, because we're going to review them together. Let's read the problem. Jane and her mommy put a cake in the oven at 10 o'clock. The cake will be done in 30 minutes. What time will the cake be ready? Let's solve it then. Jane and her mommy put a cake in the oven at 10 o'clock. The part of this problem that we want to pay attention to is the time. The time in this case is 10 o'clock. We've already considered the time, so now we need to pay attention to the vocabulary. Is your thinking cap still on? Well, let's go. The cake will be done in 30 minutes. So that means then the clock will look like this. The long hand is at 6. That means that it's saying 30. The shorthand has passed the number 10. So that means 10, 30. Let's check it. If you agreed with me that it is 10:30, you are one smart cookie, and you are absolutely right. Today's takeaways are here. These takeaways are the steps for solving a word problem. Read the problem. Pay attention to the time. Remember your vocabulary. Write the time, hour, then minutes. Did you lock that into your memory bank? Well, I've had a wonderful time teaching you mathematics over the past few weeks. I'm going to miss teaching you, but I want you to pay attention to all the resources online that help you with learning. Before you wrap up the idea of time to the half hour, I want you to get the person that helped you earlier and have them navigate you to videos, games, and worksheets that will help you to cement this concept. Well, it's been my pleasure to teach you, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.